I know 2020 was quite the year, but there were a few good things that came out of it too. So today I'm sharing with you our 2020 money wins and fails. Hey guys, I'm Marissa and welcome back to my channel. Here on my channel we talk about life and money and how you can enjoy life while still accomplishing financial goals. So if that sounds like something interesting to you, don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you won't miss any new videos. I think we can all agree that 2020 was a crazy, unprecedented year, and while I was coming into 2020 with so much excitement for what this year would bring, there were definitely a lot of roadblocks along the way. But one thing that I am really grateful for is we were still able to reach a lot of our financial goals and milestones this year. Thankfully, my husband and I didn't suffer any sort of job loss or income reduction, and that is something that I am very grateful for because I know that that wasn't the case for everyone. So I do want to recognize if you were impacted financially this year in 2020 due to income loss, job loss. I'm very sorry and my heart goes out to you. So I definitely don't take it lightly that we are in this position. But I wanted to sit down and share some money wins and fails because I do this video every year and I can't believe that we're at the end of December and ready to come into 2021. I think we're all excited for that. So overall, just some big life things that happened in 2020 that impact our finances are we had our first baby. We had a son named Peter in the month of May this year. So height of the pandemic, I gave birth. It was just quite an experience. And so he's now almost 7 months old, which is crazy. So that definitely impacted a lot of our finances this year that you will hear about. So our first win this year is we finished our emergency fund. We came into 2020 with the main goal to finish our 6-month emergency fund. And I think that 2020 has taught us how important that emergency fund is. We were aiming to have it done by around May, but we were actually able to have it done in March thanks to some tax refunds and extra little income things that came by, which we were really grateful for. So we finished it in March, literally right before the world was shutting down. And it was very reassuring to have that emergency fund sitting there as the world was shutting down, and also we were preparing to have a baby in a couple months. So we finished our goal. We had a little over 6 months of expenses saved. We have $25,000 now sitting in an emergency fund, which gives me a really great peace of mind. Another financial win that we had this year was maxing out our HSA contributions. And HSA is a health savings account, and that is what's paired with a high deductible health plan. And an HSA is amazing. It has a triple tax advantage where you can put money in tax-free. You can then invest those dollars so it'll grow tax-free, and then you can take it out and use it for medical expenses tax-free. So as we knew that we were having a baby in 2020, we wanted to make sure that we are maxing out our HSA. We did that in 2019, but then we also did it in 2020, and we actually just maxed it out at the very beginning of the year. So therefore my husband took home very little paychecks in the first couple months of the year so that we could fully max that out and then have higher paychecks for the rest of the year. So that was so nice to have as we went into labor and delivery, and we had to pay for my medical costs and my son's medical costs for the hospital stay. So thankfully we were able to max out those HSA contributions for the year, and we ended up spending over $4,500 this year on medical costs related to labor and delivery. But it was so reassuring knowing that we had the money set aside in the HSA and it was no issue at all. We also reached some other really great savings goals. First off, we maxed out 2 Roth IRAs this year. So one for myself and one for my husband. The max for a Roth IRA in 2020 was $6,000. So we contributed $12,000 overall to 2 Roth IRAs. And this is the first time that we've maxed out a Roth IRA or both of them. So that was really exciting. Once we finished our emergency fund, our next goal was to invest heavily, and we wanted to max out the Roth IRAs. And I will be doing a video talking about our 2021 goals, but that definitely is another goal for this coming year of contributing and maxing out our Roth IRAs. We also increased our other retirement investments with a 401k with our employer. So before, while we were working on our emergency fund, we were just putting in what we needed to get the employer match with our 401ks, and then we were also contributing a little bit to a Roth IRA. But once our emergency fund was done, we really focused on investing this year. So like I said, we maxed out 2 Roth IRAs, and then we also increased our 401k contributions so that we could be investing in overall total household income of around 15% of our household income into retirement. So that's been a really great milestone to reach with our finances, but since it does get taken out of our paychecks before they're deposited, it's definitely made our like take-home pay from our paychecks be a lot lower. But knowing that our paychecks are lower because we have a lot more going to fund retirement, which is exciting. We also opened up a 529 college savings plan for our son Peter this summer, a couple months after he was born. Basically, right when we got his social security number, we opened that up and we started contributing $200 a month to his 529 plan, and we plan to continue to do that till he goes to college, which is exciting that we're already starting that now. We also opened up an additional brokerage account for him, and this is something that we want to be able to contribute like $50 a month to, and we plan to use these funds to help him with like a first car purchase and a wedding, and even like helping with closing costs when you buy a house, because that can be a really confusing aspect of buying a home. So I just think that it would be really cool to bless our future children in this way, with knowing that like they need to put in the work to save money themselves, but then we can also help out and maybe match what they have saved and just be able to like give them that in this way. So we opened up that account this year, and we are still continuing to put $50 a month into this brokerage account. We also had a couple pretty big like purchases this year. The first being a new car. We bought a new to us 2013 RAV4 this summer, and with that we sold our 2006 Honda Pilot just because we needed something that was just a little bit newer, had fewer miles on it, that we know can last for a while for our family. So this car purchase we bought actually from a family member, and we just paid them for it over 2 months span. So I guess we were in debt for like a month, but then paid it off. So we paid $12,000 for the car this summer, and kind of, I guess we paid for it in cash because it was just over 2 months. The other big cost that we cash flowed this year was related to baby expenses. Being first-time parents, we had to get everything that we needed for baby, like the crib, the bassinet, the stroller, the dresser, all of the extra baby things. And I am very grateful that we did have wonderful friends and family, and even some of you guys are on YouTube, which is crazy to me, who gifted us things for Peter, which is like the sweetest thing ever. But we still ended up having to get some extra things ourselves. The great thing is that we saved for baby costs over the months while I was pregnant. We saved a little bit every month, and that way we had enough money to cover all of these baby related costs. I actually created a course called Budgeting for Baby this year, and it talks about all of the things you need to know about planning your finances for having a baby, including all of these costs that you can assume that you'll incur. I'll have a link to that course down below if you are expecting. I put together all of the information that I learned during this season, and I've tracked every dollar that we've spent in regard to baby things, so you can check that out in the description box below. And with that, another win that we had this year was adjusting our budget for maternity leave. So I was working full-time before I went on maternity leave, and I didn't have a paid maternity leave. I was able to cash out like vacation and sick time that I had, but that only covered about like half of it. So the rest of the time I did take unpaid, but luckily we were just able to adjust our budget during those months, and we were able to work it out that I was able to take an unpaid maternity leave. So another big financial goal that we were working on this year was putting extra money to our mortgage principal. So we bought our house in September of 2019, and we only put 5% down, which meant that we incurred PMI, private mortgage insurance, since we didn't put down 20% or more. So this costs us around $95 each month with our mortgage payment, and we would love to have this go away, which with our loan type, it will go away once we reach 20% equity in our home and we have an appraisal to look at the value of our home. So over the year, house values have actually gone up substantially, just what I can see related to like Zillow, which I know isn't the best indicator of what your home is worth, but gives me some basis, and I think it's actually fairly close. But we've decided to then work on paying off our mortgage to at least get to the 20% equity. So this fall, that's been what we've been putting all of our extra money that we have in our budget to. So as of right now, we have about 17% equity in our home. So my hope is that by the spring or summer, we will have that 20% equity and be able to get out of PMI, which $95 a month isn't that bad, but it would be nice to not have that extra cost each month. So this year we've put about an extra $5,000 towards our mortgage principal, and we hope that that will be up to 20% equity here soon. We also had a net worth growth of over $100,000 this year. Last December, we hit a $100,000 net worth, which was really exciting. It took us for almost 4.5 years of budgeting, sacrificing, and saving to get to $100,000 net worth, starting at like negative 70,000 when we had all of these student loans when we got married. But actually within 11 months, we were able to reach a $200,000 net worth. I know they say that the first 100,000 is the hardest, and I will say that that is true because it took us 4.5 years, but the second 100,000 only took us 11 months. So I am really grateful that we're now at a $200,000 plus net worth, and hopefully that'll continue to grow. I also had some really great business wins this year, which I'm planning to do a video sharing all about like how much money I've made on YouTube this year, so stay tuned for that if you want to check it out. But I did have some really great business growth this year, and I'm so grateful for that. My YouTube channel has grown in subscribers, and it's also now provided a really steady income that is more money than I actually made at my day job before having my son. And for that, I'm so grateful for the business growth that I've seen, and I love that I get to do this every day, that I am able to like make money and provide for my family by sharing with you guys on the internet. And also, I'm just so grateful for you guys for being part of this community, for watching my videos, commenting, liking, sharing videos. Like, all that is a huge help to me in my business, and I hope that the content that I provide for you here is helpful for you and encouraging. So I've been so overwhelmingly grateful for the growth that I've seen this year, and that's totally because of you guys, so thank you for that. And also because of that, I kind of quit my job this year. So like I said, I was working full-time before I had my son, and then after maternity leave, I was planning to come back at like 20 hours a week. But then once I got like done with maternity leave, which was only 3 months long, I realized that that was going to be way too much. So I actually went back at 10 hours, and I did that for like a month until I realized that that was also overwhelming, just with having a small baby and also all the work that I do here on YouTube, which I spend maybe 25 to 30 hours a week doing. And it was too much. And so I actually tried to quit my job, and my boss was very understanding and flexible, and they asked me to go down to 5 hours a week and do it all on my own time remotely from home. So I basically do just like a couple tasks for them, and I work in accounting, so I do some accounting and payroll, but it's been really great to have that additional flexibility. But in my mind, I kind of feel like I don't have an employer because it's literally 5 hours a week. I do most of it like once Peter's gone to bed at night, and I'll like do a few things for my computer. So I kind of feel like I quit my job even though I work like 5 hours a week there. But it has been a good outlet, and I'm grateful that my business has been growing enough that I was able to make that decision to really substantially reduce my hours with my employer. So while I do think that we were able to reach a lot of great financial milestones in 2020, and sitting here like actually saying them out loud, like I realized we did a lot, and I'm really grateful for that. There were a few things that maybe weren't as great. So here are our 2020 money fails. The first being overbuying baby products. We're first-time parents, and it feels like you need everything under the sun when you're a first-time parent. So there were just some things that maybe we bought that we didn't need. A lot of things that we probably bought that we didn't truly need. Some things that were just really nice, but some things we just didn't need. And now that like Peter has been born and he's here, realizing that we use something like so few times kind of feels like we wasted money on it. So that is my one regret from 2020, is probably just overbuying a few baby products. The second would be the worst purchase of 2020, and that would be a sectional sofa that we bought in February, because we figured it would be nice to have all of this extra room for all of our friends to come over and people to see our baby when he's born. And then we had one home community gathering for our church the first week of March, and then never saw them again. So our sectional sofa was probably the worst purchase of 2020 because no one is over to sit on it. I hope that in 2021 we'll be able to have people come over and hang out and sit on our sectional sofa. But yeah, probably a real dumb purchase for 2020. Yeah, literally, I bought it in February. I think it was delivered like the first couple days of March. So that was unfortunate. So overall, I think that it was actually a really great year. And again, I want to share how grateful I am that we have been in this place in 2020 to reach these financial goals, because I know that this year has been really difficult and trying, especially financially, for many people, and I don't take that lightly. So again, I'm very sorry if your 2020 goals for your finances didn't come into fruition this year. And I truly, truly hope that 2021 will be a better year for all of us. So let me know in the comments below, what is one money win that you had in 2020? I know this year's been rough, but I think that we could probably think of one thing that went well, even if that is just like a personal finance skill that you've learned this year. So let me know in the comments below. So thank you guys so much for hanging out and watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you're not yet subscribed, and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. And I'll look forward to seeing you guys in the next one. Bye.